Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to demonstrate about map method and filter method using JavaScript. So let's get started. First of all, let's create a folder and let's name it map and filter. Okay, now if we go to this location and if we type cmd, then it will open cmd for us, command prompt. And if we simply type code space dot, then it will open code editor for us, and that is VS Code. And let's close this. Now we are in our code editor, and let's create index.html file inside of our map and filter folder. Now if we type html, then we can see here it shows 3 suggestions, and among 3 suggestions, if we simply click on html:5, then it can create HTML documentation formats within seconds. So now let's give it a title called map and filter methods. Now inside of body tag, let's create a div and let's give it a class called main, and let's give it an ID called main div. Okay. Okay, now let's create a JavaScript file and let's give it a name called script.js, and we're going to demonstrate map and filter method in an array of an object. So map method is nothing but it is just like for loop, which will iterate all of array data, and filter method is just like water filter. It will filter only those data whenever it will filter only those data which we need. Okay, we will write a logic in our filter methods, and it will return only those data which we have created a logic. Okay, now let's create an array of an object. So let's type it. Let's give it a variable name object, and inside of this variable object we have to start with b bracket. It is also known as arrays, and inside of arrays let's create an object. An object is nothing but a key value here data. Key is id and value is 1. Okay, now let's name it John. Okay, now let's copy this object, and now let's type name called robot, and let's name it hog. Okay, and now let's name it Thor. Okay, let's keep it for data in our array of an object, and whenever we console.log this object. Okay, now we have created array of an object inside of our JavaScript file, but we have never linked this JavaScript file in our HTML. So let's link this file in our HTML. So see JavaScript.js. Okay, now we have successfully linked our JavaScript inside of our HTML. We can link this script tag inside of this head tag too, but it is a good practice to implement our script tag JavaScript files in our body tag. So let's open this in our browser, and whenever we open our console, we can see that we have 4 data present in our console, and it is in the form of array, and inside of an array it is data is present in an object. and arrays always start with index 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, which means there are 4 data. One ID called key value called ID, and value is 1, and key value called name, and value is zone. Okay, so now let's demonstrate map method using JavaScript. So we are going to target this ID. First of all, we are going to target this ID. Now let's copy this, and inside of our JavaScript, let's create a variable called div, and inside of this div we will store our this div. Okay, so we can access this div by document.getElementById property in JavaScript, and by using this property we can access this div. So now we will use map method. Map method is just like for loop, which will iterate all the array present in our all the data present in our array, not all the data present in our array. Map method will iterate. Okay, div dot inner HTML is equal to plus is equal to object dot map. Okay, and it can take up to two and the item and index. Okay, now item will have all the data of an arrays. Okay, now let's give it core rather than item, and let's return a div, and let's give it a div of, and let's give it a class name. Let's give a class name sub, and inside of this div product name. Okay, let's type it p rather than product id. Okay, and okay, id and name. Okay, now whenever we go to our browser, then we can see that our object value are showing in the browser: 1 zone, 2 robot, 3 Hulk, 4 Thor. Okay, now whenever we add our data inside of this an array, so let's type 5 and Iron Man. You can see that my data is adding in my UI, which means our map method is working perfectly. Map method is nothing but it's just like for loop, and okay, we did not need this. Now we'll demonstrate filter method. Okay, first of all, let's style this. Okay, to style this, let's create a index.css file, and let's create a universal selector, and let's provide a value inside of universal margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. Okay, padding 0, and box sizing border box. Now dot shop display grid, place item center, display grid, place item centers, and let's border 1 pixel, solid black, and margin 10 pixel. Let's go to padding. Padding pixel, border radius 5 pixel. Now let's link this. First of all, now let's link this CSS file inside of our HTML, and CSS already linked inside of our age tag. Link rel is equal to style sheet and css slash style css, then index plus css. Okay, now whenever we are go to our process, then we can see that our UI is working perfectly, and our CSS are working perfectly, and we have demonstrated map method using JavaScript. Okay, now let's demonstrate filter method. Filter is just like water filter. Okay, now first of all, let's create a div for filter. Div, let's give ID called filter. Okay, now const filter div is equal to document.get event by id div filter, and I give an id called filter, so I'm targeting this filter. Now const filter item is equal to dot filter, and let's pass the parameter called core. And return let's write in 1. core.id is not equal to 1, which means this filter I will return only those id data which is not equal to 1, which means it will not return this data but return all of those data, which means uh, we have created logic that if core.id is not equal to 1, then return those id which is not equal to 1, which means there are 2, 3, 4, 5 id which is not equal to 1. Okay, now again we are going to use map method inside of filter item. So filter div dot inner HTML plus is equal to filter item dot map, and let's return on div. And by the way, we can whenever we write this symbol, we can create a HTML tag. Also, we can use JavaScript features just like core.id, core.name, and it is also known as template literals. Okay, so Okay, now let's copy this. Let's type sm and dot sm color gray. Okay, now whenever we go to our browser, then we can see that 2, 3, 4, 5 are my filter items, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are my original data with map method. Let's see. We have created a filter item variable, and we have filtered those item which is not equal to 1, which means it will returns 2, 3, 4, 5 data in our filter item variable. And we have mapped this filter item variable, and we have just written the ID in our UI, ID and name in our UI, and we have just this is we are focusing main on map and filter method rather than CSS. So if you like my video, please do subscribe my channel and please do share this video with your friends. Thank you.